In this video, I would like to reflect on my experiences with psilocybin mushrooms. It's coming up to be that time of year again where I go picking for some mushrooms. I think my first trip I had was in 2020 or maybe 2021. I mean, all times that I've had mushrooms, it's been a really low dose, like usually like around 1 to 1.5 grams, maybe 2 grams. But you never know anyway, like the potency is always different. So I've never really had like a fucking big like hallucinogenic trip. But what I can say is that it provides lasting positive change. I think in my own experience, there have been some times where it's really made some change in my mental state in a positive way. Um, so the first trip that I had, I took them with my parents. And, well, what I want to first say is that when I reflect back on my kind of mental state a few years ago compared to now I'm a lot more kinder to myself, a lot more kinder to other people. I'm more able to socialize more authentically with people. And in my life, social anxiety has always been an issue. And, at the moment, like in my life, I'm not really seen it as an issue at all. Like, of course, my fucking social skills aren't the fucking tip top best, but it's like, I, there's not much of a worry about that, or I don't perceive it as an issue. And I know that like if I want to do something in life and it involves talking to other people, then I know that it's not that of like a big issue. Whereas before it used to be. So a few years ago, yeah, like, and I don't know if this is like all about the effects of mushrooms. Like, it's really like it's the effect of time as time goes on, and it's the effect of like this integration that goes on. This integration of like these philosophies that you're learning about, integrating these philosophies into life. Embodying these philosophies. And that takes time. A whole bunch of things. Like quitting alcohol and weed. I mean, I haven't quit alcohol and weed, but I've drastically reduced the consumption of it. And just being deciding to be healthier than before. So I don't know. There's a lot of factors, but mushrooms really. I don't know. There's something about them that puts you into a state, and it's not like it feels like you still, like I don't know how to fucking explain this, but anyway, the first trip that I had was with my parents. I 0.8 of a gram, but again, like the potency, I don't know what the potency is like. And so this was, again, like I've always kind of had trouble with expressing what I'm thinking to people and feeling and being honest and all that. And so this allowed me, like, this experience was like, I felt so free to just express myself. There was no concern about, oh, what are my parents going to think of me? what do my parents think of me? Do my parents do my parents validate me and my choices and my life and my interests? Like, that all was gone, and I was just free to be me, and I didn't give a shit what they thought of me. I didn't give a shit about the vocabulary that I used, whatever, And like the thing is that you grow up and you see your parents kind of like talking to other people or shouting about things that they think are right and wrong, and so you learn that like to survive you have to kind of brainwash yourself to th- to think what they think is right and wrong, you know um, and so kind of social survival as well. And so you kind of convince yourself that yes, I think this thing is right, I think this is wrong. um, or even that you don't do that, like you have different beliefs of what is right and wrong to your parents, but you're afraid to express them to your parents because that that's not what they think, and like you're afraid of not being validated and whatever. But see, that just all like went away and I was free to express myself. And yeah, that's a great experience. Another great experience I had with mushrooms that comes to mind is maybe like a year ago. Where I went to go watch a play. My partner was in this kind of experimental play that was happening outside in a park. And I got there pretty early, and there were some people there setting up. And I just felt like so free to talk to people. And this is when I was on a bit of a come down as well. I felt so relaxed and light in the body. And I was just going up to all these people, like a lot of, yeah, as the audience started coming in, just going around like speaking to people. There's still a bit of resistance there, but mostly it was just this freedom. And that was amazing because I never thought that that would be me doing that. I never thought that I was capable of that. It was like really like, damn, how is this possible? And the it's possible. It was possible because I was kind to myself. And that's what mushrooms, in my experience, do, is that they make you see that everything's fine the way it is. Like, there's nothing wrong with anything. There's nothing wrong with you. And so it makes you accept things, and not resist things, and you get in touch with this love and acceptance beyond yourself. It's like you get in touch with reality, which you perceive as like a space that supports you. If that makes any sense. I don't know. So the reason why it was possible for me to go up and talk to all these people during this come down of this trip was because I accepted myself. And that's the interesting thing, is that what you resist persists. As soon as you accept it, it's no longer an issue. As soon as you stop caring about trying to orchestrate how you come across to people, is the moment where you are everything that you imagined that you wanted to be. Like, you want to come across as this person to other people. And that very action of thought of wanting to come across a certain way to people is the very thing that stops you from coming across that way. And the very letting go of that desire is what paradoxically makes you come across the way that you want to come across. You see, you want to come across as authentic. It's like, I want to be this authentic person. I want people to see me as authentic. I want people to see me as cool and laid back and whatever, authentic. And so you're trying to be authentic, which isn't authentic because you're afraid, you know. You're afraid of not being authentic. Well, when you drop that fear of not being authentic, then you're authentic. When you're not afraid of people knowing the real you, you know, your real kind of natural expression. So yeah. And so I definitely think that psilocybin mushrooms can provide lasting positive change in the area of social anxiety. In my own experience, that has been the case. And, you know, like again, like there are many factors, you know, it's hard to pinpoint one thing that's helped. Like I think adopting a more healthier lifestyle and, you know, eating better food and meditating and exercising and you know, ditching, you know, shitty habits like social media, scrolling and shit like this, like it all plays a part. But yeah, like mushrooms, good shit. I think they really allow you to see that there is nothing wrong with you and your life. And yeah, this is the other thing. I think, you know, like a few years ago, I keep saying a few years ago, but it's kind of hard to think about because I don't really think about what I was like in the past anymore, you know. But I used to have a lot of guilt and shame. And I mean, saying it now, to be honest, I think a lot of that was because I was smoking a lot of weed, and weed definitely highlights your flaws and goes, you're fucked up. It's one of the things that it does to me. And so there's a lot of like, oh shit, I'm not good enough. So yeah, I hardly smoke weed anymore. I used to smoke it like nearly every fucking day. So I mean that could have been it, but nevertheless, like, there's not much guilt and shame within me, you know. I used to have so much. That used to be like my predominant mental state. Now it's just like, it's hardly there, you know. Like, I am what I am, I do what I do. I don't. These cultural expectations aren't as strong as they used to be. Like, I just see through them. They're not real to me anymore. Like, you've got to be doing this and that. You should be doing this and that. Like, these concepts of should are breaking down. Should and shouldn't. So yeah, like I was saying, like mushrooms, in my own experience, have been very forgiving and shown me that I am okay. I am, as wanky as it sounds, supported by life, supported by the universe, or supported by God. I'm loved by God or whatever. Like, as wanky as that sounds, that's kind of how it feels like. And it's like there's nothing I need to do. There's nothing I need to be. There's nowhere I need to go. Because this is how we kind of operate usually. It's like, I need to do this and go there and be this because, I need to prove myself, or I need to, be better. And mushrooms just say, like, you're perfect the way you are. What you're doing is perfect. Nothing's wrong. Nothing is... Everything is as it should be. And in our normal state of consciousness, the mind is like completely averse to that. The mind is always saying, like, everything is not as it should be, and I have to do something for it to be as it should be. I have to do something for things to be how I think they should be. But mushrooms, just say, like, they show you, like, that everything is fine just the way it is. And I think, this is one of the reasons why mushrooms can create lasting positive change, because you remember that state of consciousness. You remember it. And you can sometimes be in that, fall back in that state of consciousness. And seeing that everything's fine just the way it is, and there's nothing wrong with you or what you do. And I think that that's really, that's at the heart of positive change. Like, if you want to make your life, I think the number one thing for positive change is acceptance. Because if you don't accept where you are right now with love, if you don't love it to death, because that's the way it's going to change. You have to love it to death, and you have to let it run its own course, whatever it is, whatever you want to change in your life. The way it's going to change is that if you accept it as it is, let it run its course. And the thing is that to accept it as it is requires you to accepting something as it is requires you to let go of the desire to want it to be different, to want it to change. So this is the paradoxical thing. It's like you want to change something, but the very way to change it is to release the desire to change it. But then you release it, it changes, but now it's not like this big thing for you anymore, because you You let go of the desire for it to be changed. It's changed, and it's like, oh well, that's good. My life's a bit more positive, but it's not this big thing anymore. It's interesting. It's like, I really want to have this in my life. Oh, wouldn't it be great if I was confident? Oh, if only I was confident. For an example, it's like you put in confidence as like this top tip hierarchical thing at the top. And it's like, once I get that, I will be satisfied. I'll be good in life. And then you let go of that desire, and then naturally your authenticity just comes out and you are confident. But now it's not like, you don't see it as something that's going to change your life, like, this is life right now. It's not going to get better than this. Life is always life. How, like, content changes, like, you can't grasp on to what happens in experience, everything's always changing, it's always in flux. You're craving for something, for success and achievement in some area of your life. But like, you're craving an experience, but it's all gonna just change, Anyway, here's a video. See you in the next one.